Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, this is Kaz, and you are listening to Two Broke Watch Snobs, the only watch podcast that wants to know, why don't we build our nests and raise our ducklings right in this pond? There are no foxes and no turtles, and the people feed us peanuts. What could be better? You have made all the way to episode 285. I have been reading a lot of Make Way for Ducklings to my toddler. It is a fine book.
That was a that was a long one. I like it.
That is a fine book. Yeah, I was trying to truncate it. I'm like, no, it's dumb. I got to do the whole thing, and so I just read the whole thing. So yeah, anyone else? Huge shout out.
Connects with people.
I'm sure someone that was totally excited to get away from family stuff and just tune into watches is going to be really upset that they had to hear a children's book quote. It's like, guys, I'm trying to get the fuck away from that shit right now. All right, fuck the ducks. Okay, they're probably dead. That book's 80 years old. Those ducks are super dead, by the way.
Yeah,
but they do have statues in the Boston Public Garden or whatever. You can go and see the Make Way for Duckling statues. If you can just push past all the families and tourists trying to kiss the duck statues.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, it's fine. It should be fine. It's good. How's it going? This is going to be a ton of fun. Episode 285 of the Two Broke Watch Snobs podcast. You know, it's interesting. This show is going to be a fun one. You know, obviously Michael and I, there was a period of time between episode, which is the ghost episode, 282 or 283?
I think it's 280. I think both are kind of ghost episodes. It was a hazy period in TBWS history.
There's a period of time, 2 episodes ago, where we had a little bit of an inadvertent hiatus, and in that time, we weren't doing the show, but we were still working on the site. And Michael had the wonderful pleasure of being able to go and take a trip to Iceland. And in the process of doing that, he got to figure out what watches he wanted to do. He planned the trip, and he even got to go and meet some like a specific watch place and watch brand there and everything like that. But and he covered that in a piece on the website, and we just never really talked about it on the show. I don't think, because we weren't doing the show. So that's what we're doing this episode. This episode is thusly named "Watches in Iceland / a little bit of travel watch talk." I think we've done a few episodes on travel watches, and our perspectives are always changing. And you and I are sort of going to be traveling soon together somewhere. I don't want to say where, even though I've probably already told people, but I just don't want people to know what you and I are doing. But I think that's going to be a ton of fun. I'm super interested to hear, because you went to Iceland and you did a bunch of stuff. You did stuff in nature. You did stuff in like cities. You know what I mean? So. I'm very excited to hear a lot of driving,
sketchy driving,
a lot of Sigur Rós. How much Sigur Rós did you listen to, or was it the "This Will Destroy You" live in Reykjavik album, which is also top quality?
I did both. I did "This Will Destroy You" in like a blizzard, dude. Just driving.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
It was so good. It was everything I wanted it to be.
That live in Reykjavik album for "This Will Destroy You" is probably better than any of the actual studio albums. No offense, "This Will Destroy You" in whatever form you guys are currently living in now, but that live album is top tier.
I can talk about them so much. They're kind of doing silly stuff now, but that's not this show.
That's not this show.
Yeah,
this is two emotionally crippled broke watch snobs.
Yeah, the perspective has changed a lot, I think, and. If you listen to earlier episodes, I'm sure I was just fawning over this GMT or this watch, and it's GMTs. Just perfect for travel. And I want to take some time to get into, I think a lot of the idea of what a travel watch is and how they're kind of marketed, and the experience you're promised if you buy this, if you take your Casio F91 8 time zones away, you're gonna die, because you're not gonna know what time it is. Like if you have if you don't have the new Miyota 9075 Flyer GMT, it's just, you're gonna have a horrible experience. Yeah, a lot has changed in the way that I look at those things when planning, and I have the bug now. We're talking about a trip next year, where we might go, places we're considering, and it's all, it's I mentioned this in the piece. It's fun to infuse the hobby with other things that you're into, I've always just wanted to travel as much as possible, and post COVID, you put that on hold for a long time, and now I just want that. I want those guardrails to be lifted, and I want to get out there again. So
Go places, man.
yeah,
It
it's
is
fun to
both
think
a
about the
big,
hobby.
it is both a big and a small world. Fucking go places. Check it out. Why not?
Yeah.
So hell yeah. So I'm excited to talk about that. I'm excited to talk about perception travel watches, how they've changed. I'm excited to talk about your Iceland trip. Definitely encourage people to go to twobrokeWatchSnobs.com and check out Michael's piece. You took wonderful photos over there. Like it's so nice for us to take watch photos, not chasing sunlight in windows in our home.
Yeah.
Right? It was so nice to see actual like outside in the wild watch photos. Well, no, even when you're home, you take some photos outside. You have like a patch of green in the front of your house or something like that. I think you told me you go and like you routinely try to get shots at, right?
Yeah, there's a little trail in the neighborhood also that I try to go on. I mean,
Yeah.
that's another evolution, I think, in the watch content creator space. I talked about this in another article. There's so much pressure to feel like you have to make your content look like this guy who does an amazing job, or this publication. And I don't know, I watch photos and things like that. Quick and dirty is my latest approach. I love that I'm still on that Fuji, as minimal as possible, fixed lens, no complicated setup or anything. Yeah, quick and dirty. But it was nice to get out somewhere different and encounter the challenges that come with photographing outside and places you've never been before.
I think sorry.
I was just gonna say it forces you to get familiar with your camera in a different way
because you're in a different setting and like everything like that. So yeah, heck yeah. I think there's more. It seems like there's more watch content creators now than 10 years ago when we started. And I think the hardest thing for people to do is figure out what their own artistic vision is like. And I think sometimes people might even feel guilty in the beginning, only feeling like they can take photos like other people. Well, I'm here to tell you that's okay. That's how you figure it out. Like that's the process. You know what I mean? Like no one just crawls out of the womb Leonardo da Vinci. No, you know what I mean? Like no one, like you're not immediately poofed into existence from stardust, having the perfect artistic outlook and vision that you want. Like, it's okay to suck for a while. It's okay to try to take photos. Like, dude, I was obsessed with trying to recreate Jerry's photos, golden hour time. I was like, obviously, I am very shitty at photography, and I just couldn't do it. But that process of trying to do work how he did was helpful for me. Just because that was part of it. So yeah, no, I hear you.
I don't think so, man. We're gonna show some of your photos soon. I'm looking at one now. It's really nice. But yeah, that was.
I get lucky every now and then. Which photo are you looking at? I have some that I really like that I've taken.
Oh well, it's for your wrist check.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, did you were you able to see what I'm wearing? We should probably do wrist checks.
That we talked about that skill. Kind of watch spotting over work calls and things like that. It's weird, man. It's weird how good you get at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was on a call years ago with someone, and they were he was in England. I can't remember where, and he was talking and he was doing this blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, listen, I had the call. I'm like, oh, by the way, I really like your Quartz Seamaster, and he goes, oh shit. Like, how could you tell? I'm like, that bracelet is the Quartz Seamaster bracelet, and it is clearly not a 41 millimeter quartz watch. Like, it is a smaller quartz watch. Because didn't Diana get one of her sons that watch? Wasn't that like a famous like application of that watch? So like, I think there's definitely some kind of mythos around it. So no, it's
imagine somebody doing that to you in with an accessory that you don't really think about. Or your glasses, right? Or something. Is that
glasses.
that would freak you out
That was that's actually a really good point. That's actually a really funny point. Like, oh, dude, sweet Brooks Brothers A5 clear frames. We're like, what the psycho? What do you have me bugged? Like, what are you doing?
And he's like,
but that's actually
yeah,
really.
I have a blog on glasses.
That's actually wow. That really puts it into perspective. I should probably stop calling out watches I see just on people. That's so funny.
I try not to do it. Yeah, some folks I work with have nice stuff, and I see it on calls or in person. But yeah, I have to restrain myself because I feel I would terrify some people.
It's the same rule of engagement I always have to remember when trying to extend and make friends in the real world.
Yeah.
Never fire first. Let the other person say something first. If someone says, "Hey, Kaz, great quartz chrono," no one would ever say that to me. But if someone for some reason did say that to me, I would be very flattered. But I could totally see if I said to someone, "Hey, great Orient Mako 2," they'll be like, "Fuck, do you know what I had for breakfast too? Fucking psycho." No, I don't know what you had for breakfast. I'm always so Michael, where should I have my microphone? Because I feel like I'm just blocking my face.
I think it's good there.
Is it fine? I feel like
as long as you keep it close.
I feel like an old Republic Sith. I have like machines over half my face right now.
You can maybe, if leaning to one side feels unnatural, you could just try to get the arm closer to your natural sitting position, and
I don't want to like fuck up my audio, or whatever. It's fine. I'll figure it out. Oh, this is working. This is kind of working. Hello, computer. How do I sound?
We are professionals.
Yeah, this is fine.
Not really.
It's fine. It's a free show. It's good. This is going to be a ton of fun, though. Michael, for the 285th time, would you like to make history with me and do an audio wrist check?
Yeah, I'm wearing the CWC.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
Royal Navy diver on a on a tan toxic NATO that I've had forever. And
yeah, I don't think they're called toxic NATOs anymore.
I'm going to call them toxic
I think we're
NATOs.
dating ourselves.
I'm never going to call them anything else. But yeah, it's this watch here, and I love it.
That's cool.
This one didn't come on the trip, but I had moments where I was really missing it. So
oh, interesting.
When I came home, I wore the heck out of this thing for a while, and it's just such a cool piece. I saw the so Mark II came out with a Milsub type watch recently, and it was super tempting. I forget the model name. I think it's called the Fulcrum. And
okay.
I just had to stop myself and say, wait, I have the perfect Milsub type watch for me. And this thing is cool. They ran out of these models. I don't know if they're going to make them again, but
oh wow, I'm
really stoked that after years I figured, I'm just going to do this, because it's a lot to take in. It's CWC, their designs are obviously really attractive to me, attractive to a lot of people. I think their pricing can be tough to stomach at times, but I don't know. I just saw it as a one and done. I'm never going to think about Milsub type watches again.
Well, it's interesting, with CWC, most of the times if folks stumble onto the brand, it's because they're trying to look for something that's either authentically quote unquote British or with authentic military heritage. So I think the impetus generally tends to be something very niche. So I think if you stumble upon the watch without that background randomly, you're just like, I'm not paying whatever $1,700 or whatever, some of the price. I'm not paying that for this. But if you come into it knowing what you're getting, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, on the other end of the spectrum, you could look at something which is kind of somewhat analogous. You could look at Marathon, but you can get some Marathons for like $400.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And their prices are, I don't know the last increase they did, but some of their stuff, you look at it and you think, oh, okay, it's a quartz diver, and I'm going to pay how much? Because I think the T-SAR is not, it's not a crazy expensive watch in just the general watch collecting space, but it's not they're not cheap watches either.
Right. In the context of Earth, they're not
yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
Less than the CWC, but I get it. Overall, I'm just still super happy with this. The bezel is not what it used to be. The action
How do
kind
you
of
mean?
so both on this watch and the Quartz 83 that I used to have,
Mhm.
the bezel action loosens up pretty quickly. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah, if you mess with this in person, you're going to be really surprised at how easy it is to kind of turn.
Is it kind of like an old Seiko bezel where it's like slidey? It's more slidey than clicky. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, there are clicks. It's not friction fit, but it's not bad. It just feels very. I don't know if they built it into the watch. They were very faithful with how they put these things together. Looking at the
Right.
old originals, but the it's still a. It feels vintage, I think.
Is it
Bye.
worth getting it looked at or hello? Is it worth getting it looked at or serviced? Or maybe try to maybe
No,
it just needs to get refitted or something.
I kind of love it. You could probably put a new click spring, whichever one they use.
Right.
But I like it. It's charming.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't bug me.
That's
By
cool.
the way, I just figured out what happened last episode. I'm looking at the tab with the watch and the little picture-in-picture bubble.
Right.
There's a big button there that says stop. And my brain probably thought stop sharing. But I think that button stops the recording.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep.
Because the
We
stop
figured it
sharing
out.
button is up here. And see this, we should be okay.
Okay, that makes sense. If
Damn
you have no
brain.
idea what we're talking about, listen to the last episode, and at some point in the very beginning, you'll randomly hear us cut out, and then just slide right back in.
Fucking podcasting, dude.
It was so. We were talking about this in the pre-show, dude. It was so nice hearing the show again,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate it. Everyone left us very nice comments and a ton of really cool feedback, and we have to respond to everyone's comments, and it sounds like a lot of people enjoyed having the show back as well. So
Yeah.
very cool. Very cool, very cool. Is that my go?
Yeah, what you got?
I am wearing the always sacred Orient Christmas chrono with my Two Broke Watch Snobs mug. One of, honestly, I think 5. I think we've sold like 3 or 4 of these mugs.
It's what is it? Not limited edition, limited production mug.
No, it's just limited. It's just limited demand. Like
Very limited.
I don't think people are stomping down the door to get our TBWS mugs. But yeah, I'm wearing the Orient Neo 70s Christmas Chrono. The Orient Neo 70s series, for people that don't know, is a line of Orient watches that we don't see too much here in the States. It's more of a JDM thing, but even Orient JDM is kind of going away from it. But the idea around the Orient Neo 70s series is to take watches that have a trope from from timepieces that were popular in the 70s, and so in this case it's kind of like a panda dial or whatever. You take that and you do a little bit of like a fun twist on it. So in the case here, it's obviously this teal dial with these, you can see it really good in this photo, these like alternating pinstripes. They're not just pure linear pinstripes. They have a little bit of like it almost looks like TV static in them. So I love this watch. Limited edition. Speaking of limited editions, limited edition, I think it's I can't remember the year. That's really sad. It was I believe it was made for Christmas in Japan for I think 2016 or 2017 out of 1,000 pieces. And so no, I love this watch. I haven't worn it in a bit. I'm gonna have some surprises in the next few episodes, Michael. I haven't told you about this, but
Ooh.
some things that I've parted ways with in the past from my collection, they're coming out.
Wow.
So we'll talk more about that. But this is one of those things that's been in the collection since the beginning, and it's a fun one. This was the originator of Castile.
Yeah.
This is what started it. You know?
Are these pinstripes, is that a functional thing tied to the solar panel,
So
or
this-
is it just
so
stylistic?
The solar cells, wherever they are, those are in the subdials.
Okay.
So
Got it.
if you look, those little solar panels, they're actually in the subdials. The pinstripe, I think, either someone sneezed while they were doing it and an executive thought that looked great and they signed off on it, or like I don't know what, but they're not perfectly straight. If they were perfectly straight, this would be like, it wouldn't feel as fun. Like, this is just a fun watch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Can you scroll back up to that photo where it's on the my old 3D printer filament? That's a Toxic NATO as well.
Yeah.
That's a shiznit
A
from back in the day.
shiznit. There you go.
I still have that strap somewhere, but yeah, no, that's what I'm wearing. I haven't worn it in a while. I still love this watch. It's every now and then I'll see one on Reddit. Someone will post it on Reddit. How funny is that?
The white and the black ones are still pretty easy to
You
get.
can find those easily. Yeah. Those are, I mean, not easily. You'll probably have to, actually, you might be able to find them on Amazon. They're a little more expensive now than they were a few years ago. Probably like between $300 and $400. If you can find it for under $300, go for it, because that's basically what it was
Really?
a few years ago.
I
Yeah.
feel like in my head those things were like $160 or something.
I mean, I looked a few months back, I think, and it was, I mean, let me look real quick. We're gonna do
I also have San Martin brain lately. So
Listen, San Martin, I think, might be ruining everyone's pricing adjustments. Let me see here. Orient Neo 70s solar chronograph, and this is a solar chronograph movement. Oh no, shit, you're right. $180.
okay.
Well, shut my mouth. Yeah, everyone go buy this watch. Everyone use our affiliate link to go buy this watch. That is a very smooth
Good transition.
transition.
Yeah.
So, folks have asked, because we used to do a Patreon. We don't do that anymore. We used to just have. God, remember the old days? I think we literally had a PayPal donate button on the website. In the early days. That's not there anymore. But people ask like, oh, hey, I want to donate a watch for review. Oh, hey, I want to support you guys. Use our Amazon affiliate link. It's on the website. If you go to the website and go to the nav, I think there's a section of the nav. What does it say? It used to say like trusted shops or something like that. Two Broke Watch Snobs.
We're good at this, I swear.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't care. Fucking whatever, dude. Okay, so no, right now it says Joma Shop favorites. We do have an affiliate program through Joma Shop as well. And so the nav used to say like trusted stores, or I can't remember what it was, but like it would drop down and you would be able to see our Amazon affiliate link there, and you would also be able to see Joma Shop. So if you're on YouTube, we'll try to include it in the YouTube description, and then if you go to the website, I'll try to make it easy to find. You don't have to use it. Like, it honestly, like, it doesn't matter. We haven't mentioned it in a long fucking time, but people ask, and I love everyone who offers to send us watches. Please do not send us your watches. I am not emotionally equipped for that responsibility of taking care of your watch in the time that I'm borrowing it for a review. Like, I have a toddler, bro. All right.
Yeah, that's hard. I might be ready.
Michael does not have a toddler. He's good to go, man. Like my kid is just getting to the stage of his grappling with toddler physics, where he wants to figure out what everything does when you throw it as hard as you can. Oh, what's this thing do when I throw it at the floor? As hard as I can. What's the thing do when I throw it at the window? As hard as I can. And so, like, I'd rather not have someone's fucking Rolex GMT master here, whatever, while that happens. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
And his favorite thing to do is like to like just break into my office, because he's tall. He's tall for a toddler, so he just like he doesn't just like walk in and like quietly. He does like SWAT style breaches. He'll quietly turn the handle because he knows sound travels, and then he'll go blah. He'll just like run in here screaming. It's
Kicks
really
the
funny.
door down, tears his shirt off.
Throws a flashbang, gets me on the ground. He zip ties me. I'm in the middle of like a work call, and I'm just like, I'll be right there. This is my kid.
Impressive tactics.
Yeah, man, he's got a YouTube account, so he just learned everything he needed to learn about breaching.
Breaching.
from wow, that might be a SWAT and a birth joke. That's good.
It works. Yeah.
I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of that one.
YouTube videos for both of those, both contexts.
Please do not YouTube. Please do not YouTube births. We watched a birth at the as part of like the like we did some classes and stuff like that, getting ready for it. Watching it on video is worse than being in the room. I was in the room, and I remember the doc and the nurses were like, "Oh, do you want to which side do you want to be?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want to be on the goal end. I'm gonna be back here with you guys." And they're
The
like,
end zone.
"Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, let's get you a chair." "Oh, no, I don't want to sit." "No, that's for when you faint. We're just gonna put a chair behind you."
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad. Certainly, the images are burned into my eye, into my brain, in the back of my eyes forever. But like, how often are you gonna get the chance to see something like that? Not in like an emergency. I mean, obviously there's an emergency, but like,
Or a video. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, and I have a very strong vasovagal response. It did not kick in during that process at all.
It's good.
So, if you're in that situation and you have the opportunity, just at least like peek, just like look. As long as obviously whoever you're there with and is in the process of actually passing a person through them is fine with it. You should probably double check with them.
The business end. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be in the business end. I want to be I want to be on the other end of the barrel. I want to see what happens. How many times am I going to do this in my short life? How often am I going to get the chance to do that?
Yeah.
These
headphones.
And there's like stitching involved, and like it's just man, very metal.
Good stuff. This took a
Very,
turn. Are we a pregnancy
metal.
podcast
Yeah, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Amazon affiliate. You should go and use our Amazon affiliate link or our Joma Shop link. I will say I want to do a piece on Joma Shop. I want to do a piece on what it's like shopping through it, because we've had listeners of the show tell us that they've bought like $10,000 watches through Joma Shop, and it's been fine. It's you're not going to get a fake watch through Joma Shop, but you do have to do some due diligence with the timepiece that you get before the like return window closes or whatever, to make sure it's functioning properly, it's not damaged, blah blah blah, because it's gray market. It's stuff that couldn't sell elsewhere, so it ends up at Joma Shop. It's basically
I can't remember where the negative stigma behind them kind of began. Maybe I know people had difficulty understanding if something was actually in stock and ready to ship versus you would purchase and then it would be sourced, which I think would happen with expensive pieces.
Yes.
But if you're buying like a, Seiko or Citizen or something, I'm sure they have it on hand and it, goes your way.
I think it's also just the stigma of gray market. It's just like, oh, you're not buying it from the brand. It's like, so fucking who cares?
Yeah.
Like, fuck the brand. Whatever, dude.
Each one has its use case, I think. And, you research and you learn, and I don't know, you do what's right for you at the time.
There's nothing inherently wrong with Joma Shop. I think I would love to do a piece on that at some point. Like, we should buy a watch through Joma Shop and catalog that experience and turn it into an episode. That would be cool.
They have aqua racers.
They do have aqua. They actually have a lot of stuff. They even have pre-owned watches. Like they actually have like a selection of, like, people will sell or trade in their watches to Joma Shop. So I don't know. It's cool.
They got a Father's Day sale. You can get yourself something.
What?
Get yourself a Mito. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're not doing a Father's Day episode. If you have a father in your life and they're a watch person and you want to buy them a watch, I'm going to tell you the best advice I'm going to give anyone during this time of year: do not buy them a watch. They don't want whatever you want to buy them. Unless they give you a list.
Yeah. Or you talk to us.
And
we know that person also.
Yeah, unless we know that if we don't know who the fuck your dad is, don't ask us for advice. We have no fucking clue. But if for some reason we know who your dad is, we can probably figure something out for you.
Yeah. It's this Sunday, right?
It is this Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going shark tooth hunting. I told you about that.
Yeah. I gotta
my
get
wife
something.
My wife asked me what I want to do, and I'm like, I don't know. And eventually we came to the conclusion that ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to find shark teeth on the beach. I never did when I was a kid, and I now live in the shark tooth capital of the world. Fucking apparently, we're gonna go over to Venice/Casperson Beach. I'm gonna find some fucking shark teeth.
That's a solid. Take some photos. Take some watch photos with the shark
Some
teeth.
watch shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will. What should I wear? Ooh, what should I wear on Father's Day? Should I wear my dad watch? Should I wear my Monte Triumph? I'm afraid of getting it not wet. That's a dumb way of saying it. I'm afraid of getting it scratched.
I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. You're not going to be like my wife that destroyed a Seiko on the trip. But
On your Iceland trip, you destroyed a Seiko?
yeah, yeah, we can talk about that.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah. Let's transition to the main topic.
It amazes me.
So yeah. Excellent wrist check. I love it. We're wearing two fantastically different watches. Our watches could not be any more different from each other.
Yeah.
And then yeah, thanks for everyone that said a bunch of nice stuff about us recording again. It's wonderful to hear from you. And we don't know who your dad is, so sorry. Let's elegantly transition into the main topic. I am extremely excited to talk about this because I've always wanted to go to Iceland. I love the idea of also packing watches with different ideas in mind. I think you said you packed 4 watches, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So tell us about the trip. Why Iceland?
I think for us, it's always been just a general curiosity. I think the place, there's tourism in Iceland pre-Instagram and post-Instagram. And
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah, I think the place probably evolved a lot and adapted for tourism post-Instagram. Because you know how people are when they go there. They do these. I mean, we're talking about Disney cruise influencers. There are just dedicated Iceland trip influencers. Their
Really?
whole channel.
Wow.
And to be fair, some of them, I think some of the best ones are Icelandic, and they probably work with tourism in the area to get that content out. But you know, either way, both before that tourism boom and after, we've just always had this curiosity. And I think the flights are subsidized with the flag carrier of Iceland, so the trip wasn't getting there wasn't expensive. Also,
Right.
as expensive as it would be for us to fly to somewhere else in Europe, but that was an attractive part of it. It seemed like a trip that you could do, just take the whole place in, not really worry about, hey, we're going to be in this country for X number of days, then we're going to take a train somewhere else, different country. Those trips are fun too, but we just wanted something different.
Yeah.
Where we could just park in one spot for a while and take it all in.
That's awesome.
And I have to explain to people, they're like, why didn't you go to Cancun or Hawaii or something? And I'm like, dude, I grew up in Miami. I know what I know what a beach is like.
That's so true.
I'll do those vacations. I just wasn't in the mood for one.
Yeah.
So, and obviously it's just a beautiful country. The landscape there, the ecosystems that you see, you can really experience, one of the things they say is you can experience 4 seasons of weather in a single day. And I was like, yeah,
Wow.
whatever. That doesn't make sense. But I saw it because I drove through a blizzard, and you come out the other end and it feels like spring, in the next
That's fascinating.
town that you're in. So just beautiful place overall, man. Highly recommended. Easy to kind of just navigate. There's a lot of help. I think it's really catered to Westerners in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Yep.
It's not difficult to, everyone's going to speak English to you. It's not a tough vacation that you have to prep for.
Right.
We weren't nose deep in language books. We should have been, I think that's important, but really easy to get around overall.
A large driving factor was just what the country had to offer in relation to other trips you possibly could have done. Multi-Europe, country train trips. You didn't go to the beach. You wanted to just go somewhere and experience something you probably have never experienced other than just seeing influencers in like, I don't know, fucking clear ball hotels under Aurora Borealis or like whatever. I'm not entirely sure what the I might also be thinking of Norway. I'm really sorry, but I feel like I've seen videos of people in like clear igloos under like northern lights eating puffin.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there, and you can eat puffin.
It's a very cute little bird, but the actual meat from the bird looks very interesting. It doesn't look like what you would think it looks like.
I wasn't gonna. I didn't eat the urine shark or whatever it's called. The Greenland shark.
The fermented shark. It's it's not for you.
Yeah, there's some interesting dishes out there for sure, but honestly, and if you're in the capital, you walk for a bit, you're gonna find a Mexican restaurant. You're gonna find an Italian restaurant. You're gonna find actually.
Do you remember when we got Mexican food in Hong Kong?
I still don't know if I was just so hungry because I thought Hong Kong was going to be more vegan friendly than it was. It was not, by the way. If you're thinking about going out there as a vegan, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to be eating Cliff Bars in the hotel.
I still remember the realest thing I remember you saying about, at the time when you're not vegan anymore, but at the time when you were vegan, is you went to a place that was supposed to be vegan, and I guess it was, and you got like a soup there, and you ate that soup, and then you went back to your room, and then the next day you told me, it's like, when I got back to my room, the water in the toilet smelled exactly like the soup I had in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think you only ate like Cliff Bars.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. It was probably just.
But that Mexican place was nice.
Yeah, it was. It was a good Two Broke Watch Snobs company dinner.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Oh my God, 2018.
Yeah.
We were there in 2018. That's funny. So you had your reasons. You had your raisins for why you wanted to go, and then you had to watch plan. 4 watches. Did you set on a number of watches first, or was it, I'm bringing this, but I had to make sure I had this, I need to also need this? Like, how'd you get on 4 watches?
I started with just what would be fun, and you know, I talk about the I should probably pull it up because I have some pretty cool shots here, and if you're not watching the video episode, you should
head over to YouTube. That way you can see the video and everything like that. So like the video and all the images that we're looking at. Ooh, of course, obviously.
So the Doxa was a big one just because I like to take that on every memorable trip. It's kind of, we could talk about the idea of travel watches has evolved for me, but this is my travel watch, I suppose, just because I like getting as many passport stamps as I can with this. This has been so many places. So this was a non-negotiable, basically. That was the idea. This has to be one of them, and there's no getting around it. So the Doxa, that's how the Doxa came in, and it was just so perfect for the trip. I could have just taken this and nothing else, and probably would have been happy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just some shots here, and this was really fun. One of the things I was thinking about was, what if I go to a nice restaurant? Who cares, man? We did eat in some nice spots, and I'll warn anybody going over there. It's getting there, not as expensive as you think. Eating there, way more expensive than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife bought a $30 soup. I was pretty surprised.
Were there gold nuggets in the soup or dodo eggs? No,
just lamb and potatoes, and it's expensive because they don't. It's hard to grow stuff there, So ingredients are pricey, and just prepare for that if you decide.
And you don't do, and this is, and I apologize if anyone's aware, and if anyone knows this, or if anyone's from Iceland. So this is me speaking from a point of ignorance, but I think, isn't fish like a large staple? Like, because I imagine it's probably pretty straightforward to fish around there, but you're not a big fish person.
No, not a big seafood person. I I get reactions actually with some seafood. So
That's not good.
yeah. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you're eating in Iceland.
I had in grad school. I did my primary focus was on like European medieval literature, and I did a specific focus on like medieval Icelandic literature. And my professor at the time had been to Iceland a bunch, and it's fun. He was from Peru, and so he was telling me he's like I hate fish, and every time I go to Iceland, even the chicken tastes like fish. I don't know if they feed the fish chicken. I don't know what it is. But everything just tastes like fish, and I'm like, that sucks, dude. I don't know. I was a kid at the time, so I don't know how the fuck to have a conversation with someone about that. But I just remember him saying that, and I always thought that was so interesting. You know?
Yeah, I didn't encounter a lot. You know, they're really into burgers too. There are
Well, who the fuck isn't? Burgers are amazing.
There are a lot of burger places. And I did have the Clinton hot dog.
The hot dog? You went to the hot dog place?
Yeah, a lot of people go there, and
I'm sure it's a tourist trap at this point.
It's just a really expensive hot dog. And
was it good?
You know what's funny? You kind of have to rush through the ordering process because, you know, everybody's there. There's a huge line, and
Right.
they the attitude there is more of a New York City deli spot where if you don't get your order out quickly, you're going to get yelled at. Which is perfect. Don't ever change deli shops. We need you to be like that.
We need you. That's awesome.
I don't know why I did it, but I said, oh, no toppings. Apparently the toppings were just, that's what it's about. So
That's what it's about, dude. You just got a tube of meat on some bread.
Yep. I don't know why I did that. I can't.
There's a thing for anyone that has ever watched. I do. Trust me, I do the same thing. I panic and then I say whatever I need to say to get out of the situation as fast as I can.
Yeah, that was it.
For anyone that's ever seen any old Anthony Bourdain, series, Cook's Tour, No Reservation, Parts Unknown, or anything like that, he used to do this thing where if he was in a situation like you were and he didn't know what to get, he would just say everything.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I gotta do.
The works. Just put, or he would say the person in front of them, oh, whatever that guy got is good. Just do that. You know what I mean? Because I think to your point with that hot dog, I think the point is all the shit they put on top of
it. Yeah. So
now
I gotta
go back.
I guess
we gotta go back now.
Gotta go back.
That's funny.
But the Doxa was a big part of the trip. Just a beautiful watch.
And that's your default travel watch. That's the one that's going everywhere.
That's always going to come. That's been to
cool
Asia, South America, Iceland. If I take a big trip, that watch is coming. So
hell yeah,
that was non-negotiable. And then of course there was the dual time zone thing, which is something I've fantasized in my collecting brain for way too long.
Right.
So I needed something.
Watch folks fixate. Yeah, they fixate on it.
Yeah, and I really, let me pull it back up. So for that one, I brought the Sangan Professional GMT.
How cool.
Diver.
How very cool. Hell yeah.
And there's a reason my wife is wearing it in this photo. We can talk about that later.
Is the story about how she broke whatever watch she was wearing before?
Yeah, I don't know how she did it, but yeah, this was just something to keep track of time back home. We were working with a pet sitter, and there's a lot
It's a lovely photo, like the watch in all black with all of the light textures in the background. Hell yeah!
Thank you. It's a hard place to shoot. I'll tell you that much. All the reflection off the glaciers and everything. It's if I was a super skilled. Iceland was wasted on me as a photographer.
No, I don't think so.
Some people do crazy stuff there. Some people bring drones and crap like that, which I don't think you're supposed to.
Those people are paid. Those people are paid to take photos there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Unless I missed something, TBWS did not pay you to take photos there.
No. This is very, This was not on the books for TBWS.
This is what our tax person would call an unreimbursed expense, I'm pretty sure. Or at least some facets of this would qualify as that. So, this is a good shot. Damn.
Yeah, my wife is in this photo somewhere. It's kind of like a Where's Waldo photo.
Where the fuck is Waldo? I don't see no one, dude.
Yeah, we can
Is she
try
in the water?
after.
She's like in the water waving, like, ah, stop taking your phone out.
So the good thing about this is it has the it has a setup that we talk about a lot, where you keep the function of the elapsed time bezel with an internal 24-hour scale. And this movement, the Ronda inside, has its quirks. So one thing I will say that can get annoying if you're trying to bring a travel watch and it's a quartz GMT. So there's a trick with this movement where if you want that GMT hand to track a second time zone, you have to kind of wait until 45 past the hour.
Oh,
then
okay.
then move the GMT hand to the time that you want, and then by the time the minute hand gets to the top of the next hour, it'll be geared in and ready to go at the right spot.
Oh, now how did you discover this quirk? Just Googling?
It's actually in documentation somewhere from Rhonda. I had to.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Because I felt that it was misbehaving a little bit. Like, why isn't the GMT hand hitting where it's supposed to at the top of the hour? And that's something that the manufacturer suggests. There are some other tricks people do to get past this, but this, if you're looking at a watch and it has some kind of whatever really common Ronda quartz GMT, you're probably going to encounter that. So that's something, and once you figure it out, setting it to your home time and local time is not a big deal. So it was nice to kind of wear this watch and think about the dog and, look at cameras and see if everything's okay. Just a great piece overall. And as soon as she started wearing it, it was kind of hard to get it back because she just really, really liked it. And
cool.
I like the fluffy glove with a watch brand founded by a Marsoc guy. And like all their photos are like military with people bleedy wrists and all that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. It works. That's cool. So Doxa, Sangan,
and the Casio,
obviously. I mean,
the Casio F90. This one, it's funny. This one's still in the bag. I haven't taken it out. I wore this once, and I wanted to put it through a very specific test.
Okay.
So one of the things you do there is you go to the Blue Lagoon. It's like a big kind of spa facility with hot springs, and you kind of.
Is it like the therapeutic mud place? They have like the therapeutic mud or whatever on the ground underneath the water? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think you can do that. It's just a really big hot pool with a ton of people. Hygienically a little questionable, but I think
human soup, I think is what you're describing.
It's a huge human soup. Kind of loud. Everybody wants to do it. I'm sure there are fancier, kind of more private facilities if you want to do something like that. But this is the big one that everybody goes to. And I thought I want to put this watch in there and just see what happens. Because it's, it's hot geothermal water. Really salty, a lot of minerals and stuff, and stuff with gaskets and rotating bezels. I really didn't want to bring it in there, so I just wanted to see what would happen to this watch.
Right.
I probably shouldn't have picked the green, kind of harder to get JDM version, but I did. And it was fine, dude, and it was fun to wear the rest of the day. Obviously just still have a watch on the wrist when I went there. But one thing that did happen to this, the band is now completely like salt stained. It's got
interesting.
Every crevice, and it's hard to take out even with fresh water. So it's that's one thing that did happen, and I'm glad that's not in the Doxa right now.
Did you try do you have to scrub it, or is it like chemical burn, do you think?
I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it the way that it is. It looks cool. Maybe I'll wear it on the next episode. But yeah, just kind of fun to take this lightweight, just stick it in a bag somewhere. None of my watches wearing. I have no It's funny. I still don't have a travel case or a watch roll or anything. It's all socks.
I was
Everything
gonna
was
say I still stick mine in socks.
everything was in a sock or on my wrist. So I don't know. There's some cool stuff I've been looking at for travel cases and all that, but I just never pull the trigger.
I don't like all the lifestyle stuff with travel. Like I just need something minimal, nondescript that doesn't
sock?
look like a fucking, just a sock. Maybe I'll just buy some really nice LL Bean wool socks, and that will be my travel watch case.
I will say I also started packing. This was horrible. I think I started packing like 6 hours before we had to leave.
Oh yeah, no, you don't pack. You don't pack. That's when you pack. You pack in a hurried panic.
Yeah.
Like before the flight, like immediately before the flight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking for my shoes 2 hours before, which would terrify me. I think maybe a few years ago, just being super prepared and everything. But I don't know. I think it was harder so we went with a ton of family, and they're just like lifelong Florida. And to them, going somewhere like this is alien. Like they brought 47 different types of coats and all that. But
oh my God.
I think living out here for as long as we have, we thankfully had a lot of that stuff already.
Also,
and
I'm sure your blood's thickened. You're not too adverse to cold anymore.
This sun coming in now, the heat we've been getting recently is bothering me.
Really? Wow.
So, yeah, packing was quick, and I just shove everything in socks. So if you want to know how the Two Broke Watch Snobs, our advice for traveling with watches, I don't know if you want it. It's not going to be what you think it is.
Ask someone else. But no, I would love the idea of like a watch roll or something. Like I don't. Every time I start to look, I'm just like, I don't know. But I think you're right. I think just, sometimes the journey you need to take is just accepting you're already where you need to be. Socks. Just pack your watches in fucking socks, bro.
I think Watches of Espionage has come up with some travel rolls or like a case or something that looks pretty cool. But also when you do find something nice in that space, it's not cheap. It's you kind of got to spend. So
depending on the situation, if you have watches you've got money in, you can spend money on a travel case or whatever,
It is kind of fun to stick a $2,000 Doxa in a sock and just throw it in the bag, though.
I'll see you when we get there.
Like we romanticize about like our dads and stuff and their watches. I don't know. My grandpa probably threw his Rolex in a sock and shoved it in a bag. So
or our parents did what I've begun to do, at least when I'm like the last few times I believe I've done this. I'm definitely doing this on the next trip that you and I are taking. Just one watch, and it's the watch you wear the whole time.
Yeah. That's a good call.
That's how my travel watch view has changed. I just wear one watch, and we did this actually. We went to Massachusetts over April, and I just had one watch. I just had my Grand Seiko. That was it. That was the watch. I wore that when it fucking snowed. I wore that, just like hanging out, and that's the travel watch. Whatever I have to fuss with the least. But that also might just be like traveling as a dad with watches. Because I already got a bunch of shit now.
Yeah, 40 plus pounds of toddler gear and the toddler.
Dude, and the toddler and diapers. You have to bring diapers. You have to bring a combination of pull-ups and diapers depending on how old your kid is. And so if you really do the math, you could potentially go through 2 diapers and maybe 3 to 4 pull-ups in a day.
They didn't tell us this in school.
No, they didn't tell me shit in school. I could write my name in cursive with a pen. That's about it. That's what we learned in school. And so it's so like my view of travel watches is just whatever the fuck I'm throwing on my wrist, and then that's it. Now I might break that rule for our trip, for your and my trip. I actually might bring more than one watch. But so you had the Doxa, that's your default travel watch. You had the Sangen, that's your dual time zone watch. You brought your JDM Casio F9W1 or 1W, whatever it is, specifically to test it in this geothermal hot spring.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we had this little
Seiko 5.
Yeah, so this is kind of a half.
Is this a modded Seiko 5?
Yeah, it's an incomplete Seiko 5 Mac V SOG mod.
Okay.
I forget the name of the base model. You know, you can get it on Amazon, and then people buy the hands that look more like those Vietnam mysterious watches worn by operatives.
I see. Yep, I see what's happening now. Yep.
But it's like not finished. There's no say. There just has the 5 on there, and this is something my wife has been wearing. You know, she just picked it up. It's actually on a really nice Adapt NATO strap. Really
cool.
The watch is dead, but I have the strap here, and that I will still use.
Very cool.
But she wore this. We were out on a hike, and it was kind of a waterfall type outing, and you have the option of going through a path where everybody's taking photos and all this kind of stuff. We did that, and then we kind of went off the path. And then along the rock wall, there are these weird little entrances where you can go in, and we did some hiking. We found a crack in the wall and found this like hidden waterfall, which is just nuts.
Wow.
It was so cool to kind of experience. But she was doing a lot. She kind of took some tumbles here and there. I thought she was fine, but when we got back from that outing, we're just in the room. She's like, the watch isn't working. And I'm like, what? She's like, just the watch is not working. I shook it. The rotor would turn. It wouldn't. The seconds hand would tick for a bit and then stop, no matter how much I shook it. Because you can't wind these. You have to shake these.
It's an old 7SU6?
Yeah. So this is kind of not an old school Seiko 5, but Seiko 5, the era that you and I, started looking at watches, and
right,
exactly like your green,
the old
Pilot,
the old
Pilot
SNK,
one, the SNK.
Yep.
So yeah, I can't explain it. This thing doesn't work anymore. Gave her the Sangen, and it's funny. I'm reading a book now. It's called, I think the book is called Surprise, Kill, Vanish, and it's about kind of the emergence of our like intelligence organizations and the way we as a country have evolved there. And you learn about Mac v SOG and early CIA kind of. It's really, really cool read historically. And there's a part in there where they're recounting these moments of a dude in Vietnam, and he's like getting shot at by helicopters and running through the field, and he like takes a round in his leg and he has to crawl and he has just maggots in his wounds. And I'm like, honey, this guy probably had a Seiko on his wrist. What did you do? And it was probably fine. So yeah, and it's the second one that she has like broken. I don't know how.
What was the first one?
She was kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah, she was kickboxing, and she's like, I don't know, it broke. It doesn't work.
Why was she wearing the watch while kickboxing?
She just, when she puts something on, she just doesn't take it off. So, and it was on a NATO. I don't know. She just took it to the gym, and that one, same thing. I shake it, it just doesn't get started.
You should probably get her a G-Shock, bro. Get her a Casio. She might love that. Those things are fun.
Well, now she's wearing a what's it called?
Those things will take a beating.
She's wearing a Tissot PRX, the smaller.
Those are
one.
Fun.
Yeah, the smaller really one with the aqua colored dial.
Yeah,
and that's been good for her. But I'm like, don't do anything crazy with this. So
You could, if you wanted to, you could send that that 7S26, the one that broke in Iceland. You could always send it to Baird. I don't know if you reached out to him.
Yeah, I don't know if
Hashtag Griffin watches.
I might just leave it broken because it's really funny little kind of souvenir in a way from the trip.
So broken touchstones for memories are interesting until you're in a situation where you're either spring cleaning or you have to move.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, do I just throw it out? Do I pay and work hard to move this thing that's broken somewhere else? Like, I don't know. You know?
Yeah, if I still think I don't know. It's going to be a while before I move. That's for sure.
What if this is your Michael, what if this is your hero origin story and this is the impetus for you to go to like watch tech school so you can learn how to fix this watch?
I might, if I do that, I might just buy a 7S26 movement and watch a couple of YouTube videos and buy the what is it, the intro watchmaker tool set from Namoki or something. Just take care of it that way.
That works. That works too.
I still don't mess with servicing watches. That stuff scares me.
Yeah, no, yourself. Yeah, easier. No. I'll change a battery. I did wuss out and I did not change the battery on my Grand Seiko. I ended up sending that to Grand Seiko. If it was a $13 quartz movement, whatever. I'll eat barbecue, not wash my hands, and change the watch and touch the back with my face. I don't give a fuck. But with the Grand Seiko, I'm like, there's probably some intricate shit happening here. I don't want to get like a fucking... Because the thing is, I'm hairy and I shed like no one's business. I don't want to drop like a fucking eyelash and leave some DNA in there. Like, let me send this out to someone that's wearing finger condoms and a hairnet, and that's much better at this than I am, and they can change the battery out.
I think for something like the GS, I would be worried about taking the case back off.
Right.
And then there's like a proprietary cover or something where you need their own screwdriver to take something off to get out of the way of the battery. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going to knock you for that. That's
and fine. Same thing with my with the Seamaster. I sent the Seamaster to I'm far from the mic. I sent the Seamaster to Omega primarily to have the battery changed, but also just to have the clasp and the bracelet cleaned. And yeah, they did all that stuff. But like, I've had other quartz watches that weren't those two fucking watches, and like, yeah, I've changed the battery on them, and it's been fine.
The clasp was in not the best shape from what I can remember, so that was a good call.
It didn't stay closed. Like, and the diver's extension would just like fly open. But I was reading that's a thing that people have happening with that bracelet. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't know if that's improved on the newer ones, because this is the old 2541 that the TBWS community and the Slack community very graciously, you and everyone banded together to gift me that watch, and I think of everyone every time I put that watch on. So thank you again for that. But I don't know if that's improved with the newer versions of the Seamaster bracelets.
Yeah, and I think you had a pretty traumatic introduction to that bracelet, I would say. It was like I had a traumatic introduction to the new Speedmaster bracelet. Sizing it was not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, it was an excellent reminder in the futility of man. And no matter how much ire and anger I poured into the bracelet to just do what I needed it to do, it wasn't budging. You know what I mean? And when you're in that situation, you get to the point where just like, I don't care if I fucking break this watch. I am taking this link off. You know what I mean? And so like, yeah, that was... But after that, I got the perfect watch changing tool. I've seen people with the hammers. You ever see the little hammers? Those make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some people really wail on watches with those hammers, and I'm like, fucking.
At the mall.
Yeah, I like at the mall. Yeah, like the mall kiosk folks. No disrespect to them, they will beat that shit like they're tenderizing fucking flank steak, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Like no business. Those I don't do this. I prefer the one. It's like a vise. It like sits in a little contraption, and you turn a screw, and the screw very slowly lines up with the pin of the pin and collar, and just slowly pushes it out, and then you can just pull it out with a little pair of pliers, or like there's no violence. associated with it or anything like that. Now, all of these woes can easily be circumvented if manufacturers just unilaterally and universally adopted fucking screw links. Every watch should have screw links.
Well, that's what I thought the Speedmaster had, because if you look at photos, you see little screws, but they're not screws. They're little caps that go over a pin.
Oh, that's
And
stupid.
just
Right?
messing. All I have is kind of a. I don't even think this is for watches. I think it's for eyeglasses. I think I bought the wrong thing.
I think
this is literally all I have to size a bracelet.
Those look like they're for watches.
Maybe
I think.
I don't know. But there's a secret part of Dante's Inferno where he goes through the layers, and at one point you see me, and all I'm doing is resizing Speedmaster bracelets.
It's like a bucket just full of Speedmaster bracelets, and no matter how many you take out, it never goes down.
Yeah, I'm
It
not
just
stuck
doesn't
in
go
the
down.
pit. I'm not in the trees. Satan's not chewing on my head, but I'm resizing Speedmaster bracelets.
You don't even have the distinction of being in a circle. You're in the stairwell between two circles.
Yeah.
Sizing a never emptying bucket of Speedmaster bracelets.
I hope I never have to do that again.
Oh,
Jeez.
what level of orological hell is that? Oh, I can't remember if I asked you. Did you go to hell in Iceland? The place I was telling you about? It's like under a volcano or something?
No. We
That's all right.
So we spent a lot of time on the southern part. So we just kind of drove, west to east along the south. We stopped in a place called Vic, cool little town, great burgers. There's a
Burgers,
insane
man.
burger place there. I forgot the last place we went to, but you can really just drive everywhere. And also, one thing I did not know about Iceland is they have a seemingly very active off-road modding type scene. There are just
cool.
Land Cruisers everywhere, and that's
Wow.
been a recent interest of mine with my latest non-watch purchase.
Were you inspired? Did you take home learnings to apply to your Land Cruiser?
I was inspired, but I was also in IKEA when I was there. So
Well, now this is okay. This is very important. What kind of key were you in?
I don't know
What was the model?
What's the most common hybrid one they have now? It was not good. It was
There's the Telluride. There's the Sorrento.
that one,
There's
Sorrento.
Sorrento. Okay, so mid-size SUV, mid-size
Yeah.
hybrid SUV. Okay.
Yeah, it was that thing, and it had their, I don't know, the car rental place said, "Oh, it's got snow tires." I'm like, all right, that's what we had, but it was still. When I say blizzard, I mean blizzard. I think I might even have a shot here.
Like just total whiteout.
Yeah, I sent it to you, and you were like, "Holy crap, dude!"
Oh my god, that's right.
They have these chimneys over there, which were just so cool. I wish you can get these in the States.
Wow.
But where? Yep, here you go.
Oh my god, fuck that shit, dude.
So, just driving in that kind of stuff in a Kia, not cool. All you have to really guide yourself in this case are those little yellow sticks on either side,
And
then
the car in front of you.
yeah, and the car in front of you, and you drive, and then it disappears, and then the next one comes, disappears,
Oh my
the next one
God.
comes. It was kind of nuts, but
It's like so my wife's from up north. I'm and you and I are both of the 7 people in existence that can claim this born in Florida, because I think everyone that lives here in Florida is from fucking somewhere else. But
No,
you
yeah.
and I are native Floridians, and my whole life I've driven in like Florida rain, like tropical rain, where it's just a sheet of water. I'll never forget the first time. This is before we were married, but the first time my wife was here, and I was driving the car, and it was the if you're from South Florida, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The old 3 p.m. rain. It was the season for 3 p.m. rain, and it was just a sheet of water. And she goes, "Holy shit, what are we gonna do?" I'm like, "I'm just gonna keep fucking drive. You just drive. It's fine. You just you look for the yellow dots on the road next to the car, and you just keep those next to you. Like, yeah, I can't see in front of my hood, but it's fine. I wonder if Icelanders feel that way about driving blizzards. Like, that's fine. Just look for the yellow sticks, and just don't hit anything. It's fine.
Yeah, it was.
You know.
It was kind of. It was, I think, 2 hours in that when we were doing
Holy
it
shit.
in a friggin' Kia.
Okay, that's nuts. Yeah, Florida 3 p.m. rain. It's like 10 minutes, 50 minutes, 45 if you're unlucky. But 2 hours.
You can time it. It goes away pretty quick. But no, that was.
Fuck, dude.
Do not recommend. But we had to make it back to the capital.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about, that's something I'm very interested in, because you actually went and met a watch brand. You met a watch brand there that I have seen advertisements for. I've always heard about the watch randomly when people are like, "Oh, what's an unusual small watch brand that you don't hear about to talk about very much?" Blah blah blah. You met up with the JS Watch Co. Right?
Yeah. So that's I
So
always
interesting.
wanted to go. It's they have a sign here. It's really funny. What is it? Probably the world's smallest watch manufacturer. That's what they have on their door,
Okay, that's kind of cool.
which is just really, really cute. And I've always been interested in the designs and just kind of how, I mean, they're very isolated in a way. Even if you look at the whole space of big watch blogs and all that kind of stuff, I don't really think anyone's crawling over their dead to find to get a review sample of a JS Watch Co. and make videos on them and all this kind of
Right.
stuff. So they're pretty isolated. They just do their own thing, and I was really attracted to some of the time only piloty looking designs. I think they call it the Sif Nart or something. It's for their Iceland. Iceland only has a coast guard, and I think they have 2 ships, which is really funny. That's the extent of what they have.
Interesting.
So I think they have a rescue team or something, and the brand did watches to either have them test or give to them, things like that.
Oh, I understand. Okay. Huh.
And when you walk in, you see these really cool photos of, I guess, celebrities that have gone there. You see, Ben Stiller's here. I think Tom Cruise is there.
Who's above Ben Stiller?
I don't know who that was. Oh, Elvis Costello. That's what it says. Elvis Costello.
That's funny.
Kit Harington is on there too.
Kit Harington. Nice.
Yeah. So you can walk in, look at all these photos and stuff. There's a lot of clocks on the wall, knickknacks.
So this is a family-owned business. This is a long, a generational family-owned business. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that
Pretty sure.
when I
Yeah.
first heard about them.
Yeah. And it was, I wanted to make that pilgrimage. I did think about bringing home a watch. This was the piece that I was talking about. It's kind of
cool.
almost a mix between a pilot design meshed with an explorer type thing.
I was gonna say it's kind of fieldy. It's kind of fieldy. How big is this watch? It's got to be over 40 millimeters.
I think it's 40. It may just be the perspective that I got with the camera, but it's 40, super solid. The movement in there is probably some Solita or ETA or something, but they assemble it all there, Swiss parts, and I think this was over, kind of around the 3K mark.
Let me go to
I
their
probably
website.
could have gotten around, because you're not paying VAT or anything like that. It would have come in close to 3, and that's a lot for a spontaneous purchase. I could remember the trip in different ways.
And we talk about this all the time when you're. And I'm sorry, I'm looking down, everyone. I'm looking at the JS Watchco site on my phone. We talk about this all the time when certain watches enter a price tier, usually around 1K and above, it becomes very competitive because in this case here, for $3,000 for this one JS watch that you're talking about, there's a lot of other cool watches I could get for $3,000.
True.
So I would already have to have those watches to scratch that itch for myself, or I would have to love this watch more than those watches, which is entirely possible. But I think it's also a bit hard to ask folks to do that. But I mean, again, it could totally be different when you're like there and handling the watch and everything like that. Let me see technical specifications. Yeah, because now I want to know what movements are in here. It just says Swiss-made mechanical. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the romance of the trip could lead you to do something irresponsible.
That's true.
That.
Right. Okay, so Swiss-made mechanical movement, quote, execution top. I think that's Etta Elabor, Elaborate, or whatever it's called. So
yeah,
it's probably an Etta movement. Rhodium finish, 38 power reserve, which I believe is the 2824 power reserve. Cool.
Yeah, and
so
what got me was like, oh, for that price, you're pretty close to used, I don't know, IWC Mark 18 or something. You can find for around that range. So it's, I don't know, you have to really like the watch or really want to have that memory forever. So
you could get a 38 millimeter quartz Tag Heuer solograph and have about $1,000 left over for whatever you want to do.
True.
We were just talking about solographs before we started recording, so that's why
we have no Watches and Wonders episode this year, and that's part of that is because I cared about two watches that whole show. It was those Solargraph Formula Ones and the Alpina Tropic Proof.
That was a very interesting watch. Yeah. I want to learn more and get more into Alpina just because I think last year I talked about the release of the integrated bracelet Extreme Alpina Extreme that they did, and they did another version of it recently that's in titanium and automatic, but they have a version of it that's still quartz, and so Alpina is a really interesting brand. But no, and you said, so just going back to JS Watch Co, you said it was a small shop. You found it very charming. Shall we say charming?
Very intimate. Small spot. There's one dude in there. I forget his name is on the door. He's not the guy that you see in all the photos, but he talked to me about their crystals are apparently like super thick. He showed me a crystal. I have a shot, but it was crappy, so I didn't put it on the page. But their crystals are super thick. I forgot how thick he told me, but
why?
Just showing me different components and all of that, and giving me some background on their models and what they do. Just really, really nice place.
Did you get a sense of what would differentiate them, other than being, Icelandic and everything like that, and family-owned watch, place, jeweler place, everything like that? Is there something particular about the watches that sets them apart? I guess in terms of feature, because the designs look pretty straightforward. You can tell it's assembled Swiss parts and everything like that, and the designs seem fairly what's the word I'm looking for? Accessible, recognizable, not homages, but you're like, oh yeah, this looks like a pilot inspired sort of explorer dial or field dial or something like that. Did you get a sense of while you were there of maybe what would separate them from other watch brands other than being Icelandic?
Yeah, so the one thing that I can think of is and this would be way more expensive within their range. They came out with some watches. I guess the recent eruptions that they've had there, they've had some pretty high profile eruptions in the past.
Sure,
they came out with some watches where they took the I guess the lava rock that was left over and they made dials out of them. So
that's kind of cool. That's
I don't know, we talk about the attraction behind them being Icelandic. That's just them leaning into it even more. And
yeah.
I think that would be tough to get from another brand, or if another brand did it that wasn't Icelandic, you would kind of think, okay, why? I'm gonna get this from them. So
it's also it's their version of the Seiko Seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you're doing a dial inspired by this. We're doing a dial made of this. It's fucking lava rock, bro. So that's cool.
And it looks like something else. They're really, really cool. But
do they say made in Iceland or Iceland on the dials, or does it say Swiss made? I hope they say Iceland on the dial. If they don't, JS team, you're not listening. But if you were listening, I would highly
looking at this
you.
dial. It doesn't say Swiss made. It just says JS Watch Co. Reykjavik and the model.
But Reykjavik is part of the JS logo.
Yeah, or just under the logo. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that'd be cool if it said Icelander made in Iceland, like at the bottom, like under the 6 o'clock spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they might have some watches that do that, but at least the ones that I saw, it was just I didn't see Swiss made or anything. I could be wrong. Yeah,
that's good, man. That's cool though. I'm glad you were able to go there and have that experience. Yeah, where are you going next? We talked about this a little bit yesterday, not on air, obviously, but do you want to talk about where you might go next, or do you want to save it?
It's still up in the air. Like I said, we're thinking Asia or Middle East, which would be kind of fun, but that's still next year. Spain is also pretty cool.
Spain is cool.
That was an option. But one thing that I learned, I've really fixated on the whole perfect GMT for traveling thing, and
I've talked a lot about that.
Yeah. I've had watches like the Batman, the Tudor GMT, the Explorer 2.
Right. Oh, wow, that's funny.
Crazy watches that have no business being a travel watch. If you think about it, like
it's just because they're a GMT.
Yeah. If I think about it a little more deeply, I want something where if I lose it, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Obviously, the Doxa would be a big deal.
That would be crushing. Yeah.
But these days, I think if I really want a GMT to take on a international trip, that's Seiko 5, dude. The ones that they just came out with. They're perfect. And the whole, said it before, I'll say it again, the whole flyer, collar, whatever people say, not a big deal.
Office versus like actual pilot GMT or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah.
If you land, just turn the bezel. Just turn the bezel to your time zone. That's it.
Yeah, I also think a component of it is a travel watch should also not be something that calls attention. If you're walking around with a Rolex GMT Master, if you're walking around with a Batman in a part of the world where maybe some people keep an eye out for those watches, that's probably not a great travel watch. That's not a travel watch. That's you. I shouldn't say asking for trouble because that's insensitive, but just don't be dumb. Like, to me, a travel watch is something that is easy for you to not fuss over. It can fulfill whatever time function you want. When I travel, I don't care about the time zones. I'm looking at my phone if I want to know what time it is.
Yeah.
But I do just need to know in general what time it is, more often than normal. And then the other piece is just like not so something I want to fuss with, something that gets the function that I need, and then something that is honestly just nondescript. So if you're walking around and you have an atomic time like Casio and it just changes time zones wherever you go, sweet, rock it. Yeah, 100%.
This thing shows the time zone in the top right, your second time zone in the top right, and wherever you are.
Yeah,
in the main display.
Hanging watch dong should not happen with your travel watches.
Yeah. And I still love those watches. If somebody wants to give me a Batgirl, cool, go ahead.
That's funny. That's the Jubilee bracelet, right?
Yeah. But
yeah,
I probably won't take it. I probably won't lean into the marketing use for that watch.
Right?
I'm not flying jets, first of all, and I probably won't take it 7 time zones away.
Right.
I'll take a Seiko 5 GMT for sure.
Yeah, and those things are fun. And it's funny, you said they just came out. I think it's been a couple of years, man. We're so bad at time.
I know.
I think
it's been like
a couple
2-3 years probably. Just came out.
I will say they have released a lot of fun iterations. We have a review on our site of like a field watch version of the GMT that Nathan had actually done. Nathan did a really nice review of that watch, and he had kind of mixed feelings about it. But I think Seiko's done a lot of really cool things with the 4R34 automatic GMT movement. And I think if you're fixated on a GMT watch for traveling and you want something mechanical, if you're for some reason anti-quartz, which I'll say it, makes you a bad person. So if you want to be a bad person and be anti-quartz for some reason, uh, either get a Seiko GMT or look for a micro brand that's using one of the NH or Hattori versions, whatever it is, like the non-Seiko versions of the automatic GMT movement. So
Yeah.
that would be, because even if you go for something like the Miyota, oh man, what is it? What's the GMT?
9075.
Yes, if you go for 9075, those are sometimes those can be twice the price of something with just the Seiko version of the GMT.
But they're really cool. So Laurier, they had their I forget the name of their GMT. They had their first version, then they came out with a later version that uses that Miyota, and
Cool.
it's a pretty cool option. Vare is another brand that uses that movement, and the famous kind of in the affordable space is the Jack Mason GMT that they make now.
And let us not forget the Gavox Longitude uses the 9075 movement.
The
Very cool watch.
Longitude, the Notice Contrail, the new one uses that as well.
Oh, those contrails are sick.
And the Trail Trekker that I reviewed, both of those.
Also sick.
Yeah.
So cool. So
But I would be sad if I lost a contrail or something like that on a trip. Also, I would still be. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
But if you were wearing that Seiko 5 GMT and it got banged up on a trip or broke in a trip, yes, that would suck. But if you take a step back and look at it in terms of like the finances, at least you can obviously $200 to $400 to however much that watch is still a lot of money, but it's less than $800 to $1,200, which can sometimes be the territory you're in for the 9075, or even more than that. Obviously, if your Rolex Explorer 2 gets broken or something, you know what I'm saying?
I took the Explorer 2 to Hong Kong. Remember?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We saw some cool watches in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We did see a lot of cool watches over there in general. So I think maybe the situation's a bit different there for luxury watches. I think there's more of an acceptance of people just having nice watches in general.
Yeah, I don't think it's the kind of place where you'll get mugged for it, but still, you can lose things when you're traveling and packing, and it was a quick trip too. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that today because I'm becoming more and more absent-minded in my older age. That's 2018.
As you become more seasoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But I'm glad you had it sounds like you had an adventure on the trip. Everyone go check out twobrokeWatchSnobs.com. Check out Mike's piece. Mike's also going to link to it in the show notes, in the YouTube description as well, and then I'll also link to it in the on Instagram if you follow us on Instagram as well, and everything like that. So definitely go and check out the piece. You got some beautiful photos in there, and for anyone that's thinking about going to Iceland, hopefully Mike's experience and his photos and his piece are just a nice inspiration for you. Can kind of give you a sense of what to expect and everything like that. But I say we also try to get a JS Watchco piece in for review. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah,
right.
I think there's a grand total of maybe 3 or 4 people you'd actually talk to. I don't think they work with a PR firm or anything, so probably wouldn't be nuts.
That's awesome. That's so cool. But yeah, what should we? What time is it? Okay, should we spend like a minute trying to figure out what we do for the next episode?
Yeah, sure.
What do you want to do for the next episode? We haven't done a challenge episode in a while.
Oh,
a watch collection under $25. Remember we used to do stuff like that, or like
dude, we went hard. It's like 10 really watches hard. For $25. I don't know what we did.
No, like it was, and like we'd be like, oh, I found this watch strap tool for 45 cents on Amazon. Boom, great. And I found this watch strap from this random brand, $1. Great. Like we like hardcore tried to meet those criteria.
I think we did a blowing through an Amazon gift card also, like $50.
That's awesome. I like those episodes for like January, so after Christmas, when like your aunt in Saskatchewan sends you a gift card and you're like, all right, whatever. Like This is $50. What can I get for $50? Oh, we'll fucking tell you what you can get for $50. All right,
Dude, there is a so I have you been to the Chinese watches subreddit?
I've seen it, but I've never like gone and like I don't do too much watch stuff on Reddit, so I'm aware of it, but I've not gone to it.
Dude, it's a different world. And there's stuff
Really?
there's a I kind of think they're all the same people, like Ardune, San Martin, all these kind of weird names that they come up with. But there's one called Militado, and they have these like
Sounds like a cookie.
40 It does.
Sounds like a cookie.
Militado with your coffee.
That sounds delicious. Yeah.
It does. But they have these like $49 field watches or pilot watches. They came out with one that looks like the Mark 11, and
Wow.
they use something the Seiko VK31, I think is the movement.
Quartz.
It's Mecha Quartz time only. The battery's going to last like 2 years tops. But it looks really cool, and they're super cheap. I don't know. I might mess with one of those. That's
Interesting.
if you had a $50, I don't know if they have gift cards, Watch Dives gift card.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, if we're doing the Amazon gift card challenge, it's only things you can get on Amazon. I have to bring back my shitty Amazon watch review bit. I used to just buy shitty watches on Amazon and review them. I'm gonna bring that back.
Well, you were looking at some wood watches.
Wood watches, people. Keep an eye on the side. You might see some wood watch reviews soon.
And my wife was shopping on Amazon. So she saw the history of the stuff that you were sending me. She was like, "What the hell is that?
What the fuck is happening?"
She's like, "This is so ugly."
Yes.
A
That's
different
awesome.
world with the wood watches. I sent you that website that was
Oh, the reviews only.
of
It was
wood
it was a
products.
website that only reviewed wood objects.
Yeah, weird.
Wooden blah blah blah, wooden watches, wooden ducks. Like, it was really funny.
Oh, the internet's a weird place. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Someone put in the prompt, they attached it through a Python script to their AI model, and they hit enter, and they built a whole website. The push of a button. The let's think about. I like to doing a challenge episode. Remember affordable vintage watches? We do affordable vintage watches. I feel like that is just such a crazy thing to get into now. I feel like I'm unplugged from the vintage watch world. Also, my particular niche for the vintage watch world is all Soviet watches. I feel like that's very complicated right now.
Yeah, and vintage Seiko is very different. I think,
Right?
we talked about it a little bit with DC vintage watches, how that space has changed
Yeah.
significantly from 2012, I don't know, 2014. Yeah, I'm pretty unplugged also because everything looks so different post watch blog insurgents and
Right?
inflation. So everything is very different.
What if we did like a desert island challenge or like a survival challenge where it's like you get a budget and then we each have the same list of watches with different price points, and we choose the collection from those watches as our like apocalypse team. Or so you ever see that where it's like you have $100 and here's your list, and you can spend $10 on Captain America and like $60 on like Doctor Strange. You ever see those dumb things?
That's good. That's
We could do
probably
something
not
like
what I'm
that.
thinking about if I'm in a castaway situation, but yeah, that's fun.
I'm thinking about food and water, Kaz. Fuck, dude. All right.
What watch am I wearing as I'm hallucinating and talking to a volleyball?
I think we did do a survival watch episode, and I talked about
Yeah.
that Sylvester Stallone Richard Mille with the water purification tablet.
Where do you think those watches are right now? The people that bought them.
Joma's shop. They're sitting in a warehouse in a shoebox in the back of Joma's shop,
I forgot about that watch.
just waiting for like. I really hope someone puts in a gray market order.
You know
for
what
this
movie
Richard Mille?
You know what movie I've been craving to watch and I don't know why? Have you ever
What's
seen
that?
Have you ever seen Daylight with Sylvester Stallone?
This
where he's-
sounds so familiar. No.
I don't know if it's the movie where Lincoln Tunnel or some tunnel collapses and he's like he has to get all the people out.
Yes. I've never seen it, but yes, I'm familiar with it.
So it's historically one of the first times where, like, it was around the time where he discovered Panerai, and
That's how I know this name. Yes.
yeah, and he was like, oh, that's cool, yeah, Italian military, whatever, and he wore it, and I guess everything changed for the brand after that. So I don't know, kind of corny from what I remember, but I don't know why I just feel like watching.
You know what's interesting? So he wore that watch of his own, volition, I guess. So I'm curious, if you do watch that movie, let me know if there's any watch glory shots, because the you know what I mean? Because the brand, I don't think the brand worked with the film to like highlight it, right? So
I don't think so. Or
I would be so curious what just a natural shot of a watch you recognize in a film is, without like the James Bond Omega close-up or something stupid. You know what I mean?
it would be cool to check what that guy Periscope has to say, because I'm sure he investigated that, because it's very possible that Panerai did work with them.
Oh, you think so?
Made it seem like they didn't, because they've done sketchy stuff like that in the past. But I wonder if he has something to say about that. Really cool page. If you're hesitant about a lot of the weird marketing that goes into Rolex and Panerai, especially, he kind of uncovers some interesting stuff.
Super fun page.
Be cool to see if there are some like hero shots of the watch at some point.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's lifting a rock that's crushing like a baby or whatever, and like he's flexing, and like you get like a really clear like, oh shit, look at that sweet Panerai. Or if it's just him like you see him like scratching his ass in a doorway on a quick pan, like, oh fuck, was he wearing a Panerai just now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so curious.
Yeah, probably the latter. We'll see.
Probably the he's just like picking his nose or whatever. It's like, oh shit, he's wearing a Panerai. Shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I say we do a challenge episode next one. I'm not sure what. But I want to do a challenge episode. But here we should do this. We should let the kids get back to it.
I didn't break the video. I'm so happy. All right,
the video didn't break. We've not been subjected to any perilous internet situations. Google didn't go down during the recording of this episode, which was a thing that happened.
It's still 9 a.m. for me. Nice.
There you go. Yeah, we recorded this very early Michael's time on the West Coast. So that's funny, man. Hell yeah. Well, here, let's do this. Let's is it that time? Is it that sad time?
So much fun. Thanks for listening, guys. My name is Mike.
And this is Kaz. And thanks again, everyone, for all your nice comments, being happy that we're back. You have been listening to Two Broke Watch Snobs. Later.